Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys yet another Thursday Reforged online multiplayer battle replay. And this one is actually a 3 versus 3, a good versus evil pitch battle. You can see that the arrows of my Banderbrass Hobbit archers are already flying through the air towards those Isengard Uruk-hai. But without any further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the rules, followed by the army compositions. So the rules were 4 archers, 2 javelins, 2 cavalry, and if you were Arnor, you could only bring 1 unit of the Knights of Mouse and 1 unit of the Dunedain Troll Slayers. But besides that, I'm pretty sure that was the only rules, and we each had 13,000 florins to build our army, so 39 per team, 39k per team, I mean. And so we'll go through the rest of my army composition. I have 2 units of the mounted battle-ready Dunedain. Those are a very swift cavalry unit. They do have 2 hit points, which means they can stick around the fight for long. However, they can get skirmished down very quickly. One of them is where my general is, by the way. We've got 2 units of the Forge Heavy Swords, a nice sword and shield unit that Eriador has to offer. Unfortunately, you can only bring 2 of them before the price increase. However, they are very effective at what they do. I've also got 2 units of the battle-ready Dunedain, which are just the a little bit weaker variant of these Forge Shell Captains, which I am also bringing. So a decent amount of shock troops back here. Not a lot of AP, but then again, that's pretty much the issue with most Eriador armies. I've also got 1 of the Black Wolves, which is one of the few AP and melee units that Eriador has to offer. 2 hit points, not incredible stats, but they can do the job fairly effectively. Got 1 of the Bandits, they're just hiding out here. Basically, they're just kind of here to maybe kind of try to get a little bit of a flank going. They're not going to be able to do a great deal of damage because they are, after all, just bandits. However, they might be able to do at least focus the attention of the Isengard player for long enough for me to get some of my skirmish power going. And in terms of skirmish forces, I do have a very strong front of that. I have 2 units of the Forge Gatekeepers, which are, of course, a crossbow unit. Very, very deadly if used effectively. I've got 2 units of the Banderbrass Archers. Not incredibly good, but they are fairly cheap, and they can do okay, I guess, at taking out fairly low armored units. They don't have the best range, however you can see that they actually are able to, from here, begin firing at these Uruk-hai pikemen, who, even though they are heavily armored, will take a few losses to that. Also got 2 units of the Banded Javelins, a very cost-effective unit. However, they can get skirmished down very easily because they are, of course, very lightly armored. And then my main line of infantry I have right here is 3 units of the Cardinal Footmen, mixed in with 2 units of Greenway Guards. Greenway Guards, I decided to put with my Cardinal Footmen because their shields will offer some skirmish protection, which is something that the Cardinal Footmen have a great weakness to. However, also actually the Greenway Guards also will be nice there because they are AP, which is something that the Cardinal Footmen are not. So without any further ado, we'll go ahead and go look at the army composition of Arnor, who's being commanded by Marty Greymantle. So he's got 1 unit of the Knights of Mouse down here, 1 unit of Arnor Knights, 3 units of Dunedain Rangers, 1 unit of Dunedain Troll Slayers hiding right here, 4 units of Arthedain Men-at-Arms, 2 units of Arnor Pikemen, 1 unit of dismounted Arthedain Knights, 2 units of dismounted Dunedain Knights, 1 of which is where his general is, and he's also got 1 catapult. So very standard Arnor army, with the exception of only bringing 1 unit of the Knights of Numinos, which of course was one of the rules. And then back here we've got the army of Baconfish 302. So a very strong alliance of men factions. And so I was actually kind of surprised that there were no elves or dwarves. But that is always cool because you see a lot of elves and dwarves, so I'm always happy when you see a decent amount of managed factions. However, of course, Arnor and Dol Amroth are probably some of the most used factions of men that are on the good side, but whatever. So anyway, he's got 1 of the Haven Guard, which is where his general is, a very deadly shock infantry unit, 3 units of Edhelm Halberdiers, who are an extremely, extremely good halberd unit. They're probably going to be getting a nerf in the next patch because they are perhaps a little too good at what they do. He's also got 2 units of the Dismounted Swan Knights that look very, very cool. He's also got, I believe, 4 to 5 units of Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms, 1 Ballista, 3 units of Tirith Marksmen, and 1 unit of Nimberdale Rangers, as well as 1 unit of Merchant Militia, 1 unit of the Swan Knights, and then up here he's got 1 unit of the Tirith Knights. So we'll now go over here to the enemy army compositions, which is, well, I say enemy, but that's just because I played as Eriador. So the first is 2nd Pink commanding Mordor. He's got 3 units, I believe. No, 4, yeah, 3 units of Uruk archers, 1 unit of scouts, 3 units of Orc fodder, 4 to 5 units of Uruks, 1 unit of Mortal Chosen, 1 unit of Numenorian Shield Guard. So surprisingly, not bringing any Mordor Moranon units, he decided to instead bring a little bit cheaper but worse, just normal standard Uruks. And back here is where he's got his extremely, extremely elite units, that being the Lesser Balrogs, Melkor's Chosen, Mounted Temple Inquisitors, and the Nazgul, which is where his general is. So I was actually very surprised that he did bring the Lesser Balrogs just because they are so expensive. I believe they're like 2,200 florins or something. So if he does not use these guys effectively, that is going to be very, very bad for him. So we'll now go over to the second evil army that is being commanded by D.I. Sarek, who is commanding the army of Rhun. So he's got 1 unit of the bodyguard, which is where, oh, excuse me, which is where his general is. He's also got 1 unit of the Camul's Dragonites down there. 2 units of Loke Flagger, 1 unit of Camul's Chosen, 1 unit of Dragon's Wrath Guildsman, 4 units of Loke Gamprim, I believe. And he's also got 1 unit of Clansmen, 1 unit of Clan Guard, 3 units of Loke Narim, and I believe he also has a unit of like Camul's Shadow Bows somewhere hidden around here. And then the third and final evil army is that of Dictar? I'm probably saying that terribly wrong. I do apologize if I did so. But anyway, he's got 1 of the champions of the White Hand, 3 units of Uruk-hai crossbows right here, 2 units of Uruk-hai pikemen, 4 units of Dunlending clansmen, 3 units of Uruk-hai infantry, 1 unit of the Dunlending wild berserkers, 2 units of Dunlending veterans, 1 unit of the Nazkai bodyguard, 1 catapult, 1 unit of the trolls of the White Hand. And I'm pretty sure that pretty much wraps up all of the army compositions. So we will go ahead and start it off without any further ado. Right at the beginning, though, you're going to see a pretty long skirmish phase, to be honest. However, the infantry fight will pick up fairly soon. You can see these Uruk-hai pikemen beginning to take a beating from my Banded Brass archers. However, they're not going to take too many losses to that. I probably should change this a little bit louder. It seems a little bit quiet for my liking. Anyway. So obviously I am going to try to take advantage of the fact that his pikemen are so close to my archers and try to fire at them as quickly as possible. However, Isengard is going to pull them and his crossbows out of range of my archers fairly quickly. Which is of course a smart idea, because you do not want to leave your unshielded units to face archers that are known for so long. Over here you can see that the Dunedain Rangers are actually taking quite a beating from the Loke Narim, who were doing actually very well considering the fact that they were facing down Dunedain Rangers. I mean, Dunedain Rangers are by no means a great archer unit. They are very, very lightly armored, so they can get skirmished down relatively easily. It also looks like the Loke Narim might have a little bit of a hill to work from, so I don't know if Marty Greymantle is just going to sit here and kind of try to take it, or if he will try to reposition his archers to a better area just to set them up at. You're going to see a lot of cavalry maneuvers actually at the beginning as well. It looks like the ballista of Baconfish is maybe targeting the... yeah, targeting the bodyguard unit of Rhun. Ooh, these Tirthar Knights are trying to... looks like they're trying to charge off these Uruk archers who had to move from the safety of their stakes in order to fire at these Tirthar marksmen. But, oh boy, the Lesser Balrogs just coming in from behind and taking out a ton of those Tirthar Knights. However, it looks... yeah, it looks like one of the Balrogs actually got taken out right there. So that's I would consider that a very good thing for Dol Amroth. So yeah, the Uruks did have to move forward from their stakes. Looks like they are going to be able to do a decent amount of damage though to these Tirthar marksmen. Tirthar marksmen aren't incredibly great, however they are decently armored, so they can take quite a beating from skirmishers, especially from the likes of a pretty low tier archer unit like the Uruk archers. However, it looks like the marksmen are trying to target these Balrogs, which is definitely a good target. I mean, they're going to tank a lot of arrows, but if you're able to take them out quickly while they're just trying to chase down your cavalry, it'll be definitely a very good thing. Oh, would not want to be a Tirthar Knight right now, just getting chased down by those lesser Balrogs. Let's take a look. Yeah, just more skirmishing going on. Don't think much has happened over here. Yeah, I did not bring any artillery, and you will actually see me take quite the beating from Isengard's catapult. You can see that I have put my units in loose formation, but I did not want to really move from my position that really soon, just because I don't really have that much of an attacking force. I've got a lot of spears. I've got a decent amount of shock infantry right here, but for the most part my army is mostly spears, which is obviously not the greatest at attacking. So I'm just going to try to stick to my guns here and just try to hope that the catapult misses a lot. I did not put my Cardolan footmen or Green Bay guards in loose formation right away, just because I wasn't sure if Isengard was going to try to take advantage of my units being in loose formation. You can see he's actually bringing forward 1 unit of clansmen unsupported. However, they are going to get charged by my 2 units of mounted Balrog and Dunedain, who will be able to take out pretty much this entire unit without taking pretty much any losses. Dunlending clansmen are not by any means good. You can see their numbers just absolutely dropping right there. They're actually wavering already. I'm going to try to get them out of there, though, because the clansmen are spearmen, which means they do have a bonus against cavalry, not to mention the fact that these champions of the White Hand are kind of lurking in the background. However, I will be able to continue to cycle charge these clansmen until they are completely destroyed. I believe I only took yeah, just a few losses right there. Oh, I believe my gatekeepers were on fire at will mode because they're they're kind of taking out those clansmen. But yeah, probably not the best idea of the Isengard player to just kind of charge these clansmen out unsupported, because when they're supported, even fodder units can be used at least somewhat effectively. So I'm just going to be trying to harrow my enemy with the Hobbit archer fire and my cavalry as we go over here and see the Arnor knights charging into the back of the flank of these Lokanarin, trying to get out before these clansmen catch them in melee. And it looks like, yeah, the Tirthar knights have just been taking a beating from these lesser Balrogs. They were able to take out one of them, but pretty much all of the Tirthar knights have been taken out by now. Looks like they were able to get a few decent charges off, though, on the Uruk archers and Orc scouts. Over here, though, it doesn't look like the Dol Amroth archers are taking too much of a beating from the archers of Mordor. Not all that surprising, because Mordor does not have very strong archers. Rhun actually does not have very strong archers either, which is why I was very surprised that Arnor, who is actually a decent archer faction, was taking so many losses. But then again, Rhun does have the advantage of this hill. Very interesting. Take a look over here. The catapult is still firing. It has been able to land a few decent hits. You can see, especially on my Cardinal Footmen right here, unfortunately. However, the Cardinal Footmen are by no means a elite or expensive unit, so I was fine with it. Especially because the catapult is 1,000 florins, and if I can get him to waste his catapult on these cheap units like the Cardinal Footmen and Grimmer Guards, I will be very happy indeed. Let's see if this is a good hit. Oh, taking out the front line. A little bit of, oh, that was actually a very good hit right there on my Cardinal Footmen, and it looks like it took out a decent amount of Grimmer Guard as well. Oh, my champion, my second unit of mounted Balrog Unidane. Looks like I lost a micro of them for a second, and they took a few losses from the champions of the White Hand. So yeah, I am taking not a ton of casualties, but it's definitely not something that's very good. Especially, you can see that I'm actually taking a very unfortunate amount of casualties from the catapult against my Fort Shell captains and Battle Running Dunedain, which are of course the main damaging factor of my army, with the possible exception of these Fort Shell gatekeepers. Oh, another very good hit right there on that same unit of Cardinal Footmen. I believe Cardinal Footmen have like 163, 170-ish men in the unit at full strength, and this unit's already down to 107. So I probably should have just put them in loose formation right away, but oh well. Nothing I can do to change that now. You can see, yeah, I actually have put them in kind of a loose formation. It looks like maybe. Moving my Banderbrass archers forward to try to take out, I believe, the catapult crew. But it ends up being okay, because I'm pretty sure he does run out of ammo fairly soon after that. You can see that now the Balrog, now that the Balrogs have taken out the Tirthar Knights, they're now going to try to chase down these Arnor Knights, who are actually shaken, but they're managing to recover their courage right here, and we'll be able to run away without taking more losses to these Balrogs. Oh no, I take it back. Looks like the Balrogs are continuing to chase. If Arnor can capitalize on this and uses Arnor Knights or Knights of Anumas to slow down these Balrogs, he will be able to bring over some more heavy-duty infantry, like something like even Arthedain men-at-arms, or like dismounted dismounted Dunedain Knights. Jeez, if I can speak. Over here to take out these unsupported lesser Balrogs. To be very, very good. You can actually see the Dunedain Rangers here that are out of ammo, trying to slow down these Balrogs. Definitely going to be very good if they can actually manage to take them out with some support from the other Dunedain infantry. Because, like I said before, this is a unit that's 2,200 florins, and since we each only had 13,000 florins, if Arnor is able to take out this unit of Balrogs, it'll be definitely very, very good, considering it's so expensive and can do so much damage when supported and used correctly. Oh, there goes another Balrog. Lesser Balrog, I should say. There's only 7 left now. Hopefully Arnor will be able to bring some more units over here to try to take out those lesser Balrogs. Looks like the Lokanarim of Serrig are marching over here, trying to help out his ally by just skirmishing down some Dunedain Rangers or possibly the Arnor Knights. If they target the Knights of Numenos, they're not going to do very much damage at all, but might be able to, over time, take out a few of them. Over here, there's just a standoff going on between Dol Amroth and Mordor, both not wanting to use any more ammo just on these skirmishers. And yes, the Balrogs are still, now they're getting cycle charged, not only by the Arnor Knights, but also by the Knights of the Numenos. So definitely not at all good for the Balrogs. Another one going down right there. Two going down right there. There's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? There's one up there fighting the Rangers. We'll take a look over here. Yeah, okay. So, I have taken an unfortunate amount of losses to that catapult, however, you can see that is now out of ammo because it's just firing rotten meat at me, which is not going to do very much damage. And it does have a small effect on my morale, but as long as my general stays alive, it should not be too much of an issue. You can see I actually have the Champions of Whitehander trying to ward off my mounted battle-running Dunedain, however, the battle-running Dunedain are just too swift for them, and the Champions of Whitehand really don't have much of a chance at chasing them down. You can actually see that I brought forward my band of brass archers to try to take out those Champions of the White Hand, because if I'm able to, then I will be able to have complete control over the cavalry on this front of the battle. He's actually going to retreat his cavalry right there. And it looks like his catapult crew is now going to charge, and you're going to see it get just absolutely pulverized by a flanking charge from 2 units of mounted battle-running Dunedain. And there we go. Poor catapult crew. Just completely pulverized. Or like one of them left. Oh, okay, there's 7. Anyway, it looks like actually, yes, it looks like Rhun is actually moving all of its infantry force. Unfortunately, well, it's rather an interesting tactic that Rhun's actually deciding to take. They're kind of splitting their army in two. One half going over to fight Dol Amroth with Mordor, who is going to also bring forward infantry. The other half is going to, I assume, try to tie down Arnor and prevent the Arnor from bringing over any supporting units to help out its ally. But it'll be very interesting to see if this works out fine, because if they're able to, if the combined forces of Mordor and Rhun are able to take out Dol Amroth quick enough, they may be able to just wrap around and take out Arnor right away as well. However, if Arnor is able to deal with this small force that Rhun is sending over in time to help out Dol Amroth, it's definitely going to be a very, very bad thing for the evil forces. You can see the wave of Uruks charging this stalwart defense of Dol Amroth men-at-arms, who are actually charging. However, it was a rather unwise charge here by Baconfish. He's kind of didn't match up the units quite correctly enough, so it's going to leave his whole right flank here open to these Uruks and Orc fodder right here, who are going to have to we're only going to be held back by these merchant militia unless Baconfish decides to commit his Edhelm halberdiers. Over here you can see that some more Dol Amroth men-at-arms fighting against some Loke Flagrim, as well as some Camul's Chosen. Camul's Chosen and Loke Flagrim will be able to take out these men-at-arms with relative ease. However, if these Swanites are able to get some nice cycle charges off, they may be able to defeat the Runic heavy infantry right there. You can actually see a lot of, or more Flagrim and Gamprim over here now engaging the Arnor front. You can see just 2 units of dismounted Dunedain Knights going over here. Looks like maybe to help out the Dol Amroth player, or probably just to plug this defense, this hole right here that is being created by Rhun. Over here, though, surprisingly, Arnor's not going to take advantage of the fact that he can just wrap around with 1 or 2 units of Arthedain men-at-arms and take out this unit of Loke Gamprim, but instead he's just going to sit here and watch as his ally is just taking a pretty terrible beating right now. You can actually see the 2 heavy cavalry units of Rhun trying to find a way in and get into the back lines of Arnor and Dol Amroth to get some nice cycle charges. You can see the skirmish force of Baconfish is trying to get in position. Oh, and the bodyguards just charging straight into those Edhelm halberdiers and Dol Amroth men-at-arms. We're actually shaken now. There's some Mortal Chosen being committed, and now the 2 units of heavy cavalry from Mordor is being committed over here. So Dol Amroth is definitely in a very, very scary situation right now, especially with all those 4 units of incredibly elite cavalry. You can see the Camul's Chosen are just wrapping around, just totally taking out these Dol Amroth men-at-arms. The Edhelm halberdiers and men-at-arms are doing definitely better over here against the Orc fodder and Uruks. However, this right flank is definitely falling. The merchant militia already routing. He's really gonna have to, he's gonna commit his dismounted Dunedain, or dismounted Swan Knights right here. Try to stop Mordor from flanking around too much. Looks like, yeah, the Melkor's chosen in a full fight against the Swan Knight. The Swan Knights will lose that if they are unsupported. And it looks like over here on my side, not a whole lot more has happened. Cavalry is still just kind of sitting here. Isengard is moving a lot of its forces over, kind of repositioning to get more into my front. Not a bad idea. And the Uruk-hai crossbows are back here, so as soon as the Banded Brass Archers are in range, I will definitely take advantage of these Uruk-hai crossbows' limited range. Camul's Dragon Knights. I was very worried here, actually, that the Camul's Dragon Knights were going to try to come over here and attack me. However, they were just going to go wrap all the way around. Arnor's side. I actually do commit a couple units down here, but for the most part, I was mostly focused with Isengard. But yeah, again, I was very surprised. I mean, there is one unit of Camul's Shadowbows here, and a unit of Loknarin, but I was very surprised that Marty Greymantle was not actually helping out not only Dol Amroth, but his whole flank right here against these Rhun forces, who are really essentially just tearing through all of his units right here. You can see his Knights of Enumas already only down to 18 right now. Looks like a lot of the archers of Dol Amroth have had to be committed. Ooh. Haven Guard are actually already committed against the Camul's Chosen. That'll be an interesting fight. Camul's Chosen are AP and have more men in the unit, but if the Haven Guard are supported, they may be able to take out the these Camul's Chosen. However, there's also these Temple Inquisitors right here. Those guys are absolutely deadly. They will be able to just shred through these Edhelm Halberdiers and Men-at-Arms. However, you can see that a lot of the Mordor infantry has been dealt with, just proving how strong the Edhelm Halberdiers paired with the Dol Amroth Men-at-Arms can really be. You can actually see that second pink is having to commit a ton of his Uruk archers. I don't know if his Nazgul are committed. Melkor is chosen. Look like they're having a tough time, possibly to the Nimberdal Rangers or Tirthair Marksmen. Oh, but they're going to take advantage of the open flank right here and charge straight into the back of those Edhelm Halberdiers and Men-at-Arms. Going to take out a lot of them right there. Oh, and the poor Tirthair Marksman getting a charge right in the back from these runic bodyguard. There's also some Camul's Dragon Knights here to wreak havoc and terror among the Dol Amroth back lines. Looks like the Ballista is pretty much all but silenced, hasn't fired in quite some time. There's still some dismounted Swan Knights over there, but all across the board, really, it seems like Dol Amroth is really starting to struggle. However, like I said before, a lot of the Mordor infantry has been taken out, so it'll be very interesting if... I guess it really just comes down to if Arnor and Dol Amroth are able to take out Rhune's and Mordor's heavy cavalry. See, the Catapult of Arnor is taking an interesting firing position, trying to fire up here at this at the flanks of these Gamperim and stuff. Actually, the Runic General going down pretty much right away. Looks like he was taken out by a dismounted Dunedain Knight. Definitely not going to do any good things for the Runic morale. Luckily, though, it looks like the Catapult, luckily for Rhun, I should say, the Catapult of Arnor is not getting a ton of hits. Guard looks like they're trying to sneak around. Don't know what they're going to do. Probably won't be able to do that much just because they are not a very good unit. You can see my mounted battle and Dunedain, one of the units, the non-general use unit, is coming over here to try to help out Arnor first, and then I will try to move them over and help out Dol Amroth. Gonna charge, looks like, yeah, straight into the back of these Gamperim. I'm gonna have to be careful because this is a Spearman unit. The Gamperim are actually AP in melee. So I will be able to get a nice charge off. You can see a lot of the Gamperim actually going down, but I'm going to have to get them out very quickly if I want to retain that unit for a long time. You can actually see over here that the fight between myself and Isengard is beginning. I had to pull back all my skirmishers, and the front line of Cardolan Footmen and Greenwood Guard has already been sufficiently pounded by the Isengard Catapult is going to be put to the test for the first time. You can see this unit of Dunlending Veterans, one of the two, is actually going to try to sneak around the flank right here. However, I will be able to stop them with this unit of Bandit Javelins, surprisingly enough. These Dunlending Veterans are going to take a lot of losses to those Javelins. And you can see I'm trying to run away my Hobbits, don't want them to get in melee for any length of time, by no means. Actually also going to, start firing my Fortrell Gatekeepers at some of the heavily armored units. And because there are crossbows, they will take a lot of enemies with them. You can see my the center portion of my line is actually very weak. It's also not being helped by the fact that the Uruk-hai crossbows seem to be targeting that center line. So you will actually see me commit not only the Battle Ring Dunedain and Fortrell Captains, but the Forge Heavy Swords pretty much right away. Trolls are actually down here fighting against my front line. Dunning Clansmen. It's definitely this fight up here has took a very much slower approach than all the other fights. However, it's going to be no less fierce. I was actually very happy with how Curdle and Footmen do. They're actually not bad when supported, and they're also actually very cheap. It's nice because they are a cheap pikeman. My Forge Hill Captains, of course, going to do very good against the heavily armored Uruk-hai infantry, because we're already taking a ton of Uruk-hai infantry. Over here, just a big fight with some wild berserkers, Curdle and Footmen, just everything. Uruk-hai pikemen, just a huge mass of forces right here. You can see already how many of these Dunning Clansmen, or no, veterans have been taken out, not only by crossbows, but also by the banded javelins. Unfortunately, though, I actually did not notice that this unit, Forge Hill Gatekeepers, was stuck in melee against these veterans, so I will take quite a few losses. This unit will. However, I will be able to get them out in a certain amount of time. And over here, though, my hidden units of the Black Wolves and Bandits were able to slow down this unit of Nazkai Bodyguard long enough for my second unit of Banded Javelins and my second unit of Forge Hill Gatekeepers to get some really nice flanking volleys into these Nazkai Bodyguard, who, unsupported, just like any other unit, will take a lot of losses. I'm actually using my Black Wolves over here to try and silence these Uruk-hai crossbows, so they're going to get a nice charge right off onto these unprotected skirmishers. And because they're RIP, they will be able to take out the Uruk-hai crossbows, hopefully relatively quickly, but there are 3 units that they have to work through, so I don't know if it'll be enough. You can actually see my cavalry is running around. My cavalry over here, General's unit, was able to take out the Champions of the White Hand. However, they are now down to about half strength. Unfortunately, because of the way I was kind of in, I had to move my Forge Hill Gatekeepers kind of like around the flanks in order to actually fire. Actually, the banded javelins had to kind of do the same thing, but once I was able to get them around, they were actually able to fire. However, the only problem with that was I would have to be very careful that any units on this front fight right here would not turn around and just chase down my skirmishers. You can actually see that my front line is getting pretty deadly thin. You can see a lot of my Cardinal and Footmen are down, 4 Shelby Swords are committed, all the battering do today. My Forge Hill Captains are definitely working their magic right here in this center line right here. Where I was the weakest is definitely starting to look very, very good for me. Over here is not looking too bad either. You can see my Bandit Javelins and my Forge Hill Gatekeepers are getting to position to just throw their javelins. Oh, just deadly volleys right there, right into the massive Uruk-hai infantry and pikemen. And my cavalry are just wreaking havoc right here among the Uruk-hai crossbows. Now, we'll just take a little bit of a look over here for just a second longer, and then we'll go ahead and look at what's going on the other fights. You can see that the Nazkai Bodyguard are taking quite the beating from the Bandit Javelins and Forge Hill Gatekeepers. And now we'll look over here. Looks like over here that Rhun is actually starting to struggle. Arnor has committed most of its units. You can see these Gamperim actually shaken. Over here, though, they're still doing okay, but these are dismounted Dunedain Knights, so they will be able to take out the Gamperim without too much more difficulty. And over here, the Gamperim and let's see, what's left of Mordor are trying to take out the small remnant of Dol Amroth. Even though Dol Amroth is on one front surrounding and on the other front surrounded, I don't know if they'll actually be able to take out Mordor and what's left of Rhun, just because these Temple Inquisitors are still at 71 left, and they'll just be able to just rip through anything that Dol Amroth can pretty much send at them. There's also the Mortal Chosen, looks like the Shield Guard and Nazgul are there as well, so I don't know if this will be enough actually to take out what's left of Mordor. Haven Guard will be able to do a decent job against the Gamperim. However, they're not supported, and from getting charged in the back by those Temple Inquisitors will do them no good by any means. Arnor looks like they're pretty much freed up most of their forces down here, and they're going to be able to move up here and then hopefully help out Dol Amroth. My cavalry unit over here is taking quite a few losses. You can see they are only down to 7-6 now. They were cycle charging, looks like, the Narim, and over here they were able to take out pretty much the entire unit of Camul's Shadow Bows. I don't know where their bodies are, but we'll look over here at the still big fight that's going on between myself and Isengard. You can see that the Forge Hill Captains were able to just break through this center portion of the line right here. Now they're going to continue wrapping around right here, right around these Dunley veterans. There still is a very large portion of Isengard troops right here, but I was able to take out their crossbows and and the Nazca bodyguards, so that's going to leave my gatekeepers free and the other unit of javelins just to fire right into the flanks of the Isengard units right here. You can actually see that this unit of gatekeepers has already done a lot of damage to the Uruk-hai units right here, taking out pretty much all of them right from behind. And my general's unit is still chasing down some other units. Oh, there goes probably the Mordor general. You can see there's actually 5 Nazca bodyguard left. Looks like they took a pretty brutal charge. There goes the Dol Amroth general. I am going to actually have to run away my gatekeepers, because even 5 Nazca bodyguard will be able to do a great deal of damage to my crossbows. So we'll have to run them away. However, I will be able to go back into the fight fairly quickly. Actually, there goes the general right there of Isengard. And I will pretty much free me up to take out the last of these Uruk-hai infantry and Uruk-hai pikemen, and then go over all the way over here to help out my allies. You can see though that my lines have been very, very much thinned. Don't have a ton of units over here anyway. Still got a few Banderbrass archers, 115 forged leather swords actually. Decent, small amount of Curlin footmen. My forged captains are still at 43, cutting their way through. But I do believe at this time pretty much all of my battle-ready Dunedain were taken out. Nice flanking charge right there by the forged captains, and I will. I'm actually going to just reinforce this back line right here where my forged swords are, just because I did want to leave my gatekeepers in area to fire into the back of these Isengard forces, because that would, of course, mean the least amount of infantry of mine that would die. Because even surrounded like this, Uruk-hai pikemen and Uruk-hai infantry are still very, very strong. See, my black wolves have my black wolves with the 25 mounted battering Dunedain have taken out all the Uruk-hai crossbows, and that pretty much is going to be it for Isengard. As soon as I get my crossbows back into range. You can see my second unit of forged gatekeepers is here now, and we'll be able to take out a lot of the forces. However, my captains might take a few friendly fire losses. However, it's probably worth it because I just have so much left. I will probably be able to deal with anything that Mordor has left over. I don't know if they're routing, or yeah, they're 48 Uruk-hai pikemen routing. Looks like the only thing that Isengard has left now is 91 Uruk-hai infantry. Gatekeeper is actually just standing here now. They don't really have much of a hole to fire through, except this unit is actually still firing. We'll watch them fire volley, and then we'll go back to what's going on between Mordor and Rhun. Well, Mordor, Rhun, and Dol Amroth. Yeah, that's it. And that's it for Isengard. Now we'll look over here. So yeah, it looks like all of Dol Amroth has been defeated. They're getting chased down by the Mordor troops. However, you can see that the what's left of Arnor is now coming over here to take out not only Rhun, but Mordor as well. And now that I have actually taken out, see my unit of cavalry right there, that I have taken out all of Isengard, I will bring all of my forces down here to help out Arnor. Unfortunately, we did lose one of our allies, that being Dol Amroth, but he got a ton of kills because he got double teamed. He did get a lot of kills, so that's always cool. It's always nice to have a lot of kills. See his routing troops getting chased down by the 8 bodyguard, 5 Kumul's Dragon Knights, and possibly the 1 Northwest Chosen. There are still 45 Temple Inquisitors. Those guys are just absolute wrecking balls. I think there's actually still, 9 Nazgul left over. So it's by no means going to be easy for Arnor, who does not have a ton of units left. Not a super close game, but I mean it's pretty much over at this point because Rhun is dead. Last of his Gamprum is going down as we speak, and there's just a little bit of Mordor forces left right here. So not an entirely close game, but I didn't really have any replays besides this one. Also, my internet for whatever reason has been very terrible. It's like almost impossible for me to get games nowadays, or play games nowadays. But yeah, whatever. It's actually Christmas Eve right now. Hopefully this video will be uploaded by Christmas morning. Dismounted Arthedain Knights gonna struggle very hard against the 44 Temple Inquisitors. However, all these Arnor units will be able to back them up. My cavalry is running around, and I believe my forces over there. I was kind of struggling, kind of getting them into position, like into the position that I wanted them to march in. But you can see they're starting to make their way over there now. Still have a decent amount of this, you know, Fortune heavy swords. The other unit though is only at like 50 or something. Yeah, got a lot of skirmishers left over. I believe all my bandit javelins. Yeah, I did have to commit my bandit javelins actually in melee once they were all out. Still have 9 normal bandits for them, but yeah, I did actually have to commit my bandit javelins in melee, which was by no means healthy for them. Yeah, I only have 41 battle running unit in there and only 7 in that one. I believe this is the unit that was having to fight against all the trolls and stuff. I don't know where my captains are yet. I still have 30 of them. But anyway, my front line though, there's still a small amount of front line troops left. We got 58 Green Red Guards, a scattered amount of Carlin footmen. But that's about it for the front line. And we'll go ahead and... Oh wait, actually... Yeah, so right now the last of the Mordor units are getting cut down by Arnor, and the cavalry of Rhun, which is pretty much all he has left, is going to not gonna go down without a fight. They're going to charge after my units right here. However, they're going to actually get taken out by my good old former chill gatekeepers, who, being AP, will be able to absolutely just butcher the heaviest of cavalry. Crossbows and javelins I find are always a very good way to deal with heavy cavalry. That's pretty much the only way actually I was ever able to take out things like the Knights of Numenos or Camille's Dragon Knights and Runic Bodyguard whenever I was doing things like Herod versus Rhun, or like Arnor versus Rhun, or anything like that. Or just whenever anyone brings those kinds of heavy cavalry units. I think we'll go ahead and watch the Last Stand of Mordor while my units are trying to kill what's left of that cavalry. Still are 32 Temple Inquisitors, definitely getting their amount of kills right here, taking out those Arthurian men-at-arms and pikemen. Not a lot of Arnorian troops left over, actually. Nazgul still fighting strong. See, I mean, it's not terribly close, but it's not like insanely one-sided. I still had a lot of troops left over, but that was pretty much it. Arnor had a decent amount. And then poor Dol Amroth. It's okay. Mordor Chosen. General and Shield Guard actually wavering. I don't know if the Mordor General is actually wavering. I feel like every time I see the Inquisitor swing, he gets a kill. Yeah, very cool battle. Very cool one. I don't play a ton of snowy battles, but I did decide to do a couple at least just for the Christmas season. So it's always nice. I guess probably one of the main reasons why I don't do a lot of snowy battles is because they do tend to lag the game kind of. I actually did try to do a couple ones. This setting right now is winter and then snowy. But if you put it on Blizzard, you cannot see anything. Like, I mean, you can like barely see like 10 feet in front of you, even with like just the flying camera and everything. It's incredibly hard to see, and you can easily lose micro on a lot of units. A lot of dead bodies though, jeez. You can see my Eriador forces marching forward. The Balrogs, that was an unfortunate waste by Second Pink. His unsupported Balrogs were taken out very, very early on. Especially, that's not good because it's a very expensive unit. I actually do like Eriador, they're not bad. They're somewhat hard to use, but if you can get things like the Fortune Gatekeepers firing early on and continue, and if you get them to fire continuously, they actually can do very well. I'll be interested to play them in the .95 patch. I believe they're going to be called the... I believe the Kingdom of Arnor is technically going to be called the Kingdom of Arthedain, and that Eriador is going to be called the Kingdom of Cardoon in .95. So that's going to be very cool. I'm going to be very excited for that, actually. Only 4 Temple Inquisitors left now. Oh, That poor man cut down at the very end of the battle. This is actually the last Temple Inquisitor now. Oh, another one taken out. Yeah, do those spin moves. Did he just do 3 spin moves in a row? I like how the Arthedain Men-at-Arms are just sitting here watching the one dismounted Arthedain Knight fight against the Temple Inquisitor. Let's see who wins. They're the last of their units. Last of their respective units, I should say. We'll go ahead and just speed this up now. There's nothing else to watch. Oh no! The Arthedain Knight was taken out and the Temple Inquisitor just sitting here. He's gonna chase after those Arnorians though. You can see all my forces marching forward now. Nothing left to do though. Yeah, cool. Oh wait, actually, was that one Swan Knight left? Yeah, I think there's one Swan Knight, right? There's one Swan Knight. So Dol Amroth was not taken out. Anyway, so I got 3,100 kills. Marty Greymantle got 1,600, and Baconfish getting the most kills with 3,200. D.I. Sarah getting the most kills for his team, getting 2,431. We'll take a quick look at the exact stats. Whew, Mounted Battleground Dunedain, each getting over 400 kills. Fortress Captains getting almost 400. Vanderbrass Archer's not doing too bad. Gatekeeper's not doing too bad either. It was actually kind of... Yeah, Battleground Dunedain did pretty good. It was actually kind of funny because one of my units of Bandit Javelins actually got more kills than both of my Gatekeepers. But yeah, a very cool battle. 216 kills for one of my units of Cardinal, and the other one getting 131. But yeah, a very cool battle. So if you guys did enjoy, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you didn't, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. And farewell wherever you fare till your eyes receive you at your journey's end. And I hope you guys all have a Merry Christmas, and please do not forget what it is all about.